The Thanksgiving parade was not invented by Macy's. It was invented by the other store, the rival, the one whose name America said every day for 50 years inside a single famous question and has now almost completely forgotten. This store was, for a stretch of the 20th century, the biggest department store business in the world. It created Saks Fifth Avenue. It put Santa Claus at the end of a parade 4 years before Macy's ever did. It stood one block from Macy's in New York and outsold it, and Hollywood built a beloved movie around the war between the two of them. And then a cigarette company bought it, and within 14 years there was nothing left. Not one store, not one sign, nothing but the question, which people still say without knowing they are quoting a corpse. Does Macy's tell Gimbels? This is what happened to Gimbels. If your mother ever took you downtown in a good coat, this one is for you. Going to Gimbels was an event you dressed for. That is the first thing to understand because no shopping trip today resembles it. Your mother put on gloves. You wore your church shoes. You took the bus or the streetcar downtown because downtown was where the store was, and the store was not a store the way we use the word now. It was a palace, 10 or 11 floors of it, brass doors, marble aisles, chandeliers over the perfume counter, and a doorman, an actual doorman, who nodded at your mother like she was somebody, which was the entire point. Inside, the air smelled of perfume and floor polish and wool coats, and the ceilings went up forever, and somewhere above you a live organist might actually be playing. A working family walked into Gimbels and was treated for one afternoon, like money. That was the product. The dresses were almost beside the point, and the store swallowed the whole day. The elevator had an operator in white gloves who called the floors like train stops. Ladies' millinery, home furnishings, toys. There was a restaurant on an upper floor where your mother and your aunt had chicken salad, and you had a dish of ice cream with a fan-shaped wafer in it, and you sat up straight because the room made you want to. Then the bargain basement, which was its own weather system, tables of marked down treasure and women 3 deep around them, your mother's 1 hour of pure sport. You held her coat. You remember holding her coat. But if you were a kid, Gimbels meant one season, and the season started with a parade. Thanksgiving morning, Philadelphia, and down the middle of Market Street came the bands and the floats and the firemen, and at the very end, high on a float, Santa Claus himself. And when the parade reached Gimbels, Santa climbed a fire ladder up the front of the building and disappeared inside into the toy department where his throne was waiting. Think about what that meant to a 6-year-old. Santa Claus did not live at the North Pole. He lived from Thanksgiving to Christmas Eve on the 8th floor of Gimbels, and the parade was simply his commute, performed in public once a year with marching bands. The line to sit on his lap formed Friday morning and did not really end until Christmas. Your mother pressed your coat for it. There is a photograph of you on that knee somewhere, terrified and thrilled. And if your family's boxes survived, it still exists. One quick word, because the next part is the rivalry. And the rivalry is one of the best stories in American retail. If a downtown you had forgotten is coming back to you right now, the gloves, the elevator man, take 1 second and subscribe. Because how this empire vanished and who finally killed it is a story almost nobody tells. All right, the question. In 1910, Gimbels did the single most audacious thing in American retail. It built its New York flagship at Herald Square, 1 block from Macy's, the biggest store on earth, on purpose, the way a fighter moves into the champion's neighborhood. And for the next half century, the two of them waged the most public, most theatrical, most productive feud in the history of shopping. Price wars in the morning papers, competing Santas, spies, actual comparison shoppers, sent into each other's aisles daily. Out of that war came a phrase every American used at kitchen tables and in card games whenever anyone asked a question they had no business asking. Does Macy's tell Gimbels? It meant mind your own business, and everyone from Maine to California understood it instantly because the feud was national culture. In 1947, Hollywood canonized it. Miracle on 34th Street is a movie about a Macy's Santa sending customers to Gimbels. And the scene where Mr. Macy and Mr. Gimbel shake hands for the cameras was funny precisely because every person in the theater knew those two men would rather eat glass. When the handshake finally happened for real, for publicity, it made the papers coast to coast. 2 department stores, front page news. That is how big this was. That was the store. Now the peddler who started it with the pushcart, the empire it became, and the 14 years it took a tobacco company to erase 140 years of name. It started lower than any story we have told on this channel. Adam Gimbel, a Jewish immigrant from Bavaria, landed in New Orleans around 1835 with nothing and became a pack peddler, which is exactly what it sounds like. A man walking the Mississippi Valley with his entire inventory strapped to his back, needles, cloth, buttons, farm to farm, door to door. He walked for years, and in 1842 in Vincennes, Indiana, he stopped walking and opened a trading post with a policy that was genuinely radical on the frontier. 1 honest price, the same for everyone, farmer or judge, in an era when every country store haggled and every stranger got skinned. Fairness, it turned out, was a business model. 35 years before Frank Woolworth put fixed prices on a counter in Pennsylvania, a peddler in Indiana was already living by them. Adam had 7 sons, and the sons built the empire. Milwaukee in 1887, Philadelphia in 1894, where the store grew into one of the largest in America and gave the city its parade. Then New York in 1910, the shot at the champion. Then 1924, and the move that outlived everything. Gimbels bought a respected but modest store called Saks & Company, moved it uptown, and opened a luxury flagship on the finest shopping street in the world. They called it Saks Fifth Avenue. Gimbels built it, owned it, and ran it for half a century. The most glamorous name in American retail, the store that still anchors Fifth Avenue today, was a Gimbels subsidiary. By the 1930s, the family business that began on a peddler's back was being described as the largest department store corporation on earth, bigger by sales than Macy's itself. The pushcart had beaten the champion for a while. One quick thing before the fall, because this fall has a villain with a cigarette. If this story has earned it, tap the like button. It genuinely helps a small channel keep digging these up. All right, 3 blows, and the last one has a British accent. The first blow was the one that hit every palace. The customers moved, and the palace could not follow. Gimbels was a downtown institution in the exact decades America abandoned downtown. The families in the good coats bought cars and houses in the suburbs, and the malls rose up beside the highways, and the streetcar stopped running to the brass doors. Gimbels built suburban branches, plenty of them, but a Gimbels in a mall was just another store between 2 other stores. The magic had been the palace, the doorman, the event of it, and you cannot put an event in a shopping center food court. Every downtown palace in America took this same blow. Almost none survived it. The second blow was identity, the quiet killer in every one of these stories. Post-war, the middle softened. The carriage trade went to Saks, which Gimbels itself owned, and the bargain hunters went to the discounters, Corvettes, then Kmart, then all of them, and Gimbels sat in the middle, no longer the finest, never the cheapest, famous mostly for a question in a card game. The store that had known exactly what it was for a century, honest value in a palace, spent the 1960s trying slogans instead. When a great store starts changing its slogan every 2 years, it is not advertising. It is asking strangers who it is. And then, 1973, the third blow. The buyer, Brown and Williamson, the American arm of British American Tobacco, purchased Gimbels outright, a cigarette conglomerate, diversifying as the consultant said in those years, and steal them if you can. Tobacco money was looking for respectable places to sit, and a famous name with real estate under it looked like value on paper. But a tobacco company does not love a department store. It harvests one. Through the 1970s and 1980s, the new owners took the cash, skipped the reinvestment, watched the stores tire and the aisles empty, and in 1986 announced from an office that the entire Gimbels chain would simply close. Not sold, not reorganized. Closed. Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, and the Tower, 1 block from Macy's, all of it gone within the year. 30-some stores, thousands and thousands of jobs, 144 years from the peddler's pack to a press release. Macy's outlived its rival and got the whole holiday, and today millions watch the Macy's parade every Thanksgiving, believing Macy's invented it, and the store that actually invented it does not have a single sign left standing anywhere in America to object. The question died too. Ask anyone under 40, does Macy's tell Gimbels? And they will wait politely for you to explain. A phrase 60 million people once said, orphaned in one corporate afternoon. And yet the fingerprints are everywhere once you know to look. Saks Fifth Avenue, Gimbels' own creation, is still standing on Fifth Avenue, the child that outlived the whole family. The Philadelphia Thanksgiving parade never stopped. It just changed sponsors, and it still marches every year. The oldest Thanksgiving parade in America, Santa still arriving at the end, most of the crowd unaware they are watching a Gimbels ritual on its 100th and some birthday. In New York, the sky bridge that connected Gimbels buildings still hangs over 32nd Street, a copper green ghost the tour guides point at. And in living rooms every December, Miracle on 34th Street plays again, and Mr. Gimbel gets his laugh. And for 90 minutes a year, the name is famous again, and nobody knows why. Here's the lesson this one leaves behind. A rivalry can make you famous. It cannot keep you alive. Gimbels spent 50 years defined by the store across the street, and when the world changed, the fame was all in the question and none of it in the answer. The parade survived. The movie survived. Saks survived. Everything Gimbels made outlived Gimbels, which is either the saddest ending on this channel or the best one, depending on what you think a store is for. So tell me down in the comments, which Gimbels was yours? Philadelphia, New York, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, and what floor did your mother head for first? Tell me about the bargain basement, the elevator operator, the chicken salad upstairs. Is there a photo of you on the Gimbel Santa's knee in a box somewhere? Because I am telling you, that photo exists. Go dig for it this weekend. And ask your kids the question, does Macy's tell Gimbels? And put their answer in the comments. I will be here when you get back. I read every single comment.